I can see all you too. All right, so I'm here to talk today about what's in your packet. You have this here? Yeah, you do. It's right here. I want to make sure I'm talking about the right thing so you don't get mad at me. I'm supposed to talk about the process of making model airplanes and the history of GeminiJets. Yeah, that's okay. We're all good. Thank you very much for letting me borrow that. Okay, who can tell me a key thing to a great airplane model? What's that? Detail. Okay. And how about something else? A paint scheme everyone likes. Wheels. Stability. Okay. Correct colors. Durability. Perfect.
Quality casting.
Quality casting. Accuracy.
Registration number.
Registration number. Back here. You raise your hand? Okay. The GeminiJets logo. Yeah. Sometimes that got missed. Okay. Who gave me one of those keys just now? Raise your hand. Okay. I'm going to reach up onto the podium. So you keep your hand raised. I'll give you one of our brand new key rings. All right. Most of this, when I did a seminar like this a few years ago, turned into questions and answers about GeminiJets and model airplanes in general. So I'm going to open it up to a lot of questions and answers because I know you guys probably have a lot of those, and I want your input. How can we make the best airplane model possible? What can we do to improve our product? What can we do to get things that you want to see and get them to you faster? So those are the kind of things I'd like to address, and I'd love your input because what I hear today is what I'm going to go back home to Las Vegas and tell my friends and coworkers at our headquarters. So anyone at any time here, just feel free, raise your hand, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this airlines, you don't have some airlines available, and it would be good to get some liveries of airlines that you don't have. Maybe there's a way to order one or load or whatever. Cool.
There are some airlines we avoid making models of their aircraft for obvious reasons. They don't license their trademark, and we try to play above the board and do the right thing. And so if we're using the trademark of whatever airline, let's say United, we have to go through the process of getting the license for that and their approval, and there's usually a third party involved, and they collect royalties. So every quarter we pay a chunk of change to these third parties that collect the royalties on behalf of the airlines. So I know we have folks who all the time come and ask, do you have Singapore? Do you have Thai? Do you have Japan Airlines? Some of those we do, but a lot of those Asian carriers we don't because they won't license their trademark or license it easily. So you'll see models come into the US, but a lot of times they're in unmarked boxes, their boxes are orange, and they're not GeminiJets, they're other brands. But yes, and I wish there were more airlines that we could do that are maybe not top of mind, but we have to consider sales. And the more models we sell, the more projects we can get into where perhaps they're not as well known an airline, or the subject matter may not be current. It's a historic aircraft type or livery or airline, and something that may not have as much mass appeal. We always have to think about that. Did I answer your question? Okay. All right. How about over here?
Well, with that same line, you're really selling more of the logo itself, the decal, right? You can make the same DC whatever airline like you want,
Yeah.
They fly those same planes other ones do.
Right.
It's more of that.
We have the tooling for a 777 that we use for Emirates and American and whatever else. But if we release a model that has, say, Singapore Airlines name and branding on it, there's a chance you know, someone's going to know about it, of course, and
Sure.
object, and then, you know,
So
so we
that's-
don't want those
so-
issues.
Well, but your delay is really the labeling more so than the actual.
A delay?
You're not paying Boeing.
We do pay Boeing royalties. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But
So.
is your kind of one of your major costs is probably more copyright than the other airlines.
There's a percentage of every model that's purchased that has to go toward royalties. And we were able to keep our costs down, believe it or not, even through all we've weathered. And I'm going to get into what's happened over the past year in just a little bit. But we've been able to keep the costs down even more so than our competitors, still having to pay royalties. And some of those competitors don't. So just know that when you're buying a GeminiJets product, that we're licensed. We go with all the airlines, whoever they're using to collect royalties for them on their behalf. Sometimes it's the airline itself, that we're doing the right thing. And it's like if you had a business, and let's say you were into bolo ties. Is that a bolo you're wearing? Okay. And you have this design that's on the bolo here, right? Okay. And you designed this yourself. And all of a sudden, I come along and I start copying that and I start making money on it. Well, you'd probably be pretty pissed, wouldn't you? Okay, so that's the same thing with the folks who either they're with an airline or the artist. Sometimes there's an artist involved and they want to get paid. Good case in point is Qantas. And it took a few years to get out the Yam Dreaming 787s, even though the airplane had been around wearing that paint scheme for a while. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a blood clot. Okay, so we went through the licensing, not just with Qantas and Boeing, but we also had to go get the approval from the representative of the artist of that paint scheme, the Yam Dreaming. It's an Aboriginal artist. So it takes a little time sometimes because there are channels we have to go through. All right? Okay. Yes, absolutely. Yes. If we put Pepsi on a model, boy, you can believe our phone's going to ring. Okay. So if we say set up a poll on our social media channels, how would that be? Would that work? Okay. That's good. Good point. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a fun question for you.
A fun question?
Yes.
Am I going to be jumping off the walls?
Well, it depends.
Okay. Hit me.
So, once again, you have a lot of sales history in terms of models. Have there been any instances where a model, you released it and it sold out a lot faster than you were expecting to?
Yes. That just happened.
On the other hand,
Yes.
have there been
Yeah.
any models that were frustrating where you thought, oh, gee, I thought people would love this, but we still have most of the
Yeah.
So I'd
Yeah.
like to hear some examples of pleasant and unpleasant sales surprises.
All right. Did anyone buy or order, because it's not out yet, the 400 scale British Airways Concorde that we just announced a few weeks ago? Okay. So contact your retailer because the orders were through the roof. It oversold. So some of these folks they're going to have their orders cut. So there's a great example of us thinking, okay, this is the umpteenth Concorde model that we've released. You know, it probably won't do as well as all the previous ones because everyone's got one. Well, clearly that's not the case. So we had a big surprise this past week. So I'm not saying that your order got cut. I don't know who you bought it from, and I don't really want to know. But hopefully, you know, we'll get as many collectors their Concorde who pre-ordered one as possible. He asked if there's been any models that we've made where it was a surprise, like it sold out more quickly than we expected. And yes, that happens.
Or how
Yeah, and sometimes you read about it on social media, and these people get ticked off. Oh my God, my order got cut. Well, sometimes that's the case. In a lot of instances, we'll have more models that are coming in from the factory in the next month or 2 months later. So you may have a delay, but you'll eventually get your model if your retailer got cut on an order of something. This room don't even know what that is. Am I right? A Convair 580? Okay. It's a prop liner, and they were very popular in the 1950s and 60s. They were used, and there were some, I think there's one or two that are still in use today. But he loves the Convair 580. But collectors, maybe not so much. But, you know, it's a pet project, and take a chance on that because there are other folks. Well, I don't know that I can. We definitely follow the trends, and because we have such great relationships and have had great relationships of our competitors. And it's not only that, it's because we know collectors, as soon as there's a new airplane that comes out, a new paint scheme, like that Southwest, that thing is kick-ass, right? That 1776 Independence One, and I bet you all want one. 200, 400, whatever it is, I want one. We know you guys wanted it, so we will do as much as we can to get them produced as quickly as possible. Our competitors, I will say, make a fraction of the quantity of models that GeminiJets does. And so it takes our factory a little longer sometimes. Good case in point are all these Lufthansa anniversary planes with the 100 on it, the crane. I mean, they're gorgeous. And you all want the A380 or the 748. And I hope you didn't go buy the competitor's version, but if you did, I mean, I know how hungry you are for a new model on your shelf, so I kind of get it. But I hope you'll wait. If you haven't bought it yet, wait for the Gemini version, because we've gone about it in the production process with Lufthansa. We've worked closely with these folks at the airline, and they're in Germany. A time change and time zone when they're halfway around the world and everything else. They're going to be worth the wait, and they're going to be great. But if they've taken a while, those airplanes started flying months ago. Somebody asked me today, man, what's taking so long? You guys are losing it. I'm like, well, not really. They're still going to sell. I have orders now, pre-orders from retailers on all those Lufthansa models, and I hope we're going to have enough. I'm told we are, but it's just one thing that I know that we do, and we've increased production on some things. The Southwest is a good example of something we've gone back and say, we want to add another 500 pieces to the Independence one or something, you know, because we know you're all going to want one. Am I right? Again? Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so to that point, the new releases, can you say closer when you plan to release a new release?
You know, that's hard to gauge because sometimes we're at the mercy of the factory, and unless there is a rush put on a subject, they're producing at their own pace, their own schedule, what they want done. And sometimes, excuse me, they will they'll put models together so that it's easier for them. So let me give you a little perspective as to what the factory's like. It's a big warehouse in a lot of cases. A lot of people working. Some of these people have never seen the airplanes for which they're producing models. They don't know really what it is. They're just told to put this together, glue this, do that, and that's what they do. Imagine doing that 5,000 times like in a day. It's tedious work, and these people, and they don't get paid very much in a lot of cases, and they're sitting there doing this. And so the factory tries to, let's say we're going to do a 727 model in 400 scale, all right? So they'll see what's on the production list, and they'll try to make 727s, as many as they can at one time. So they only have to move this huge mold and lock it into place, because that's what the models are made from. This tooling is what it's called, the mold. It weighs a ton, and then, you know, to switch it out with something that was previously there, it takes a lot of time and manpower. So sometimes that's what their schedule is based on. Thank you. Huh? I appreciate you being here. Are you going to offer me a beverage? So anyway, to maximize the manpower and to limit the amount of time it takes in production, they'll try to make as many 727s, for example, as they can at one time. And they're all not going to come out in the same month or 2 months, 3 months, but they will at some point within a period after that production point. Okay? Is that kind of, anyone have a question about that? What I just said, you don't get it, you don't understand? Huh?
You did a good job, it makes sense.
Okay, good, thank you, appreciate it.
Where are your factories?
Huh?
Where are the factories?
In China.
Is there a chance of any more Frontier models coming to the
Oh yeah, especially since all those Frontier pilots and flight attendants come to see us, and they say it all the time. There's one that's been, here's a good example. Here's one, the Frontier is like a special eco engine or something, it's green with an eagle on it. It was a future release. It's been like 3 years, and I'm like, what is taking this so long to get done? It's not like we don't have the mold for, is it an A320? Forgive me. 21 Neo. Okay, we definitely have that. So I don't know what the holdup is, other than to tell you anything else you're expecting that's on that list. Someone asked me today, hey, where's the Northwest 727 and 200 scale? It's been on your future release list on your website forever. Well, all these projects, we didn't know all this Lufthansa stuff. They made many more aircraft in the anniversary delivery than we expected. And then we had the USA, and of course United anniversary, and then Southwest stuff, and American's anniversary. So these are priority projects that push everything else down on the production list, because we want this stuff out because you all want it. Am I right? Yeah, and you're tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. I've collected these things since 2006, so it's like 20 years of this. So I want something too. I know there's a Delta Shuttle 727-200 in 200 scale that I've been waiting for, you know, but I don't say anything because I know I'd rather someone in this room get the model they want ahead of me getting what I want. So. Yes.
How long does it take from like the first day that you start talking about a model to the release product?
Typically 6 to 9 months. Yeah, and that's with the artwork being designed and it going back and forth, corrections made, and then there could be something that's updated from the airline. They change something at the last minute, and sometimes we can catch it, and sometimes we can't. It's too late. The factory's already started production. But generally, it's 6 to 9 months. And if there's something that's really rushed, like we're clued in as to a special paint scheme or livery coming out, then we were able to get a jump on it, and so it kind of cuts down the wait time. But that's it in a nutshell, pretty much. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, you're just doing this. Okay. Yes.
So Gemini recently made the 1/100 scale American.
Yeah.
Are you guys venturing into new things? Can we expect new molds in that? Or
Yes. Yeah. I can't tell you what they are. That's a surprise. But there are more. There are more planned. I know of 2 for sure. More that'll be out in the near future. Yeah. Who got the Gemini 100 American 73? You got that? It's awesome. And yeah. The factory really did a fantastic job on that. Yes.
Are there any models that you have to pull from the production line?
We had to pull. Yeah, I believe that's happened before. Yeah, and it usually involves a change to an aircraft or a livery. The airline changed something, and we didn't want it to be produced with a flaw, so we changed it. Yes, back here.
Question, have you considered like limited edition with laser etching on the underside by the mounting plates for limited edition?
Do you make a special version of an aircraft model that we've already?
Or if it has extra detail that you can laser etch to say, number what of,
Oh,
1,000.
yeah, no, we opted not to do that. And I'll tell you why, because we want to make models that everyone can enjoy and easily collect and trade if they want to, or sell. And everyone knows what it is. It's not a special version, and there's no numbered card to have to worry about or anything like that. And frankly, we produce just a lot of models, way too many sometimes to do all that. But it's a good point. And as for detail, we're fine-tuning the product all the time with representatives from the factory. I know a lot of folks have reached out. Well, can you make more detail with the landing gear? Can you do more with the nose gear? So we listen to you. We hear it. I want to be very clear though. As much as we take into what you say and the feedback, and I've taken in a lot of what you've said here with the things we mentioned at the outset of this conference today. There's a cost involved. So some of that stuff, the numbered card, the metal plate, maybe on a stand, it's added cost that we'd have to pass on. We try to keep the models priced so that we're lower than our competitor and it's easier on your wallets. Because let's face it, over the past year with the tariffs, it's been a challenge. When the tariff was 140% at some point last year, we just kept them all in China. We didn't bring anything in. It's like, we're not paying that. We've got a business and you're not gonna pay that. So we'd all lose out. So when it finally started dropping, yes, the prices were still high, but now that the tariffs were ruled unconstitutional, and now it's only at 10%, it's much easier on all of us. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I'm seeing prices in some of these things, and we're going month by month now to see how much we can cut costs on every single release. I do that with Elliot every single month now. And we'll sit down for about an hour before announcement day, before you see what we're releasing, and we'll see what models, what releases we can trim off $1 or $2 from the price, or sometimes even more. If it's a 200 scale, certainly more than that. Yes, sir.
Is that why you don't do certain models because maybe they won't sell or the demand won't be there? Something like a Piedmont Martin 404 or late. I
would love a Martin 404, but again, that's one of those things. How many people in this room know what that is? See how few hands went up compared to how many people are in the room. So when you're planning a project and the cost that's involved to produce a single model, it's just not cost effective to do something And a Martin 404, I don't know that anyone has a mold. Maybe Hobby Master in 400 or 200 scale. We don't have one. And I don't know that very many flew.
What does it cost to do a mold?
The cost for a mold, well, they keep shooting up, but you could start at like $50,000 or $60,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great. So we're planning to release a new aircraft type, a new mold. We have to take that into consideration. How many times can we use this mold over and over and over and over? How many people are sick of Emirates A380s? You're so sick of them that the mold wore out and they're remaking it if they haven't done so already. Because so many were produced between us and our friends at JC Wings using the same mold. So the tooling often gets replaced because of use, it's wear and tear like carpeting on your floor. So there's a great financial burden involved with a new mold. Hi.
Are there like any specific airlines and aircraft that should be included with every single new release, like Emirates?
That are what?
That should be included like with every single new release.
Like a new airline?
No, I mean like existing airline. Like you have to keep like making a new model of like the airline every single release, like Emirates. Like,
Oh, well, I'll be frank. Emirates buys a lot of our models, and when they buy as much as they do, we want to keep them happy. Because you know why? Not only do they buy a lot of models, it generates a lot of revenue, but then in turn, we can use that money to advance what we have and make new molds and try new things and make models of things that maybe a lot of people don't want, but some people want. And so we're able to take chances by keep pumping out models of, say, Emirates, things that some of you are tired of.
Gulf States oil money buys a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh, yes. So there's a really nice Emirates release that's coming out in the next few weeks. It's one of the June releases. It has the Emirates, it's not the car, it's a courier with like a cardboard box. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be out in 400 scale. That looks really nice. It's a special livery, like the NBA, that one just flew out. And so did the one with the rugby, it was like purple and green. That did really, really well. So, and then back in the day, we had Emirates A380s that had animals on it. It was for wildlife. And there were 2 different versions of that. Those did really well. So, you know, it's like special paint scheme. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question or two, actually.
Yeah, I have a question too. Where's your kid? Where's he at?
I thought it was in the room.
That's twice now, you know, because we go way back, you and I. We were at the TWA Museum in Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it way back. So when did you start in with us, and have you seen die-cast increasing in demand?
Yeah, yes. I mean, there are a lot of collectors, and as the hobby sort of recycles itself, as older collectors or a number of collectors either go away, they stop collecting, they unfortunately pass on. We see a lot of younger collectors coming up, and so we definitely have to keep those folks engaged. We want to get collectors whatever they want, if it's possible, regardless of their age group or whatever. So yes, there's been a rise in diecast. Let me tell you real quick, I've told this story a million times. I was looking for a gift for a friend of mine who worked for an airline years ago, and he worked for TWA. So I went on eBay and I thought, let me just see what kind of TWA thing I could come up with. So I found this little model, TWA. I'm like, okay, well, I'll get him that, whatever. So it arrived at my house, and I opened it up. It was by Aero Classics. Anyone know what those are? I was so impressed with the print that it's like, this miniature is amazing, and the detail on this thing. So I kept going back and back to eBay. I didn't know where else to buy them. And I think that's how a lot of folks come into this hobby. It's called discovery, where it's something you have no idea even exists, and either you stumble on it like I did, or somebody, I even heard today, I'm gonna bring a friend over here in town who lives here because he's like, what is this die-cast airplane model stuff? So you're going to introduce them tomorrow. So, you know, people are brought into the hobby, and social media over the past 10 years has been a huge help in this hobby as well as many other industries.
And I'm sure that there are a lot of people my age in the room who were brought in by Aero Mini and Airjet Advance 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yes. On my own Instagram, the past week and on through the 4th of July, I'm taking advantage of the 250 that everyone's, you know, talking about, big about, whatever, to bring back the Gemini 250 line that you probably all forgot about or never knew it even existed. Okay, so those, and since you know these older brands, you probably remember the models that had the retractable gear back when you were younger.
Yes.
And they were called
Aero Mini.
Was that what that was when you could get them from the planes? Like you could buy them from their flight shop?
that I don't know.
Northwest.
But they had retractable landing gear in the model. It was self-contained, not magnetic or anything like that.
Yeah, Aero Mini was the original one, and then there was Lintoy, which was the equivalent of 1 to 400. And then Airjet Advance was the plastic models, which you could buy like from all the sky shops in the 70s.
So GeminiJets tried a new thing. It was kind of based on the line Aero Mini. That's what you're saying it was, because I'm forgetting what it was.
Aero Mini, because Aero Minis were 1 to 239 scale.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Okay, so they were close because these are 1 to 250. So where they left off, GeminiJets kind of came in and picked up, starting with DC-8s, and the first release was a DC-861, a Delta, and so we did, I think, 35 releases, and that was it. The market changed, people's taste went on to bigger. So the 200 scale size had taken off in the time that 250 line debuted, and we're talking like 2003, 4, 5, and 6, and that was about it. By then, the 200 scale, the Gemini 200 line had just exploded. So we discontinued the Gemini 250, but those old models, and I'm telling you, I keep my models like crazy, like, you know, because I want to keep them nice, so they're all temp controlled and no one touches them. None are sitting out or anything like that in my house. They're all kept in boxes and Rubbermaid bins and everything else. And so, but I will tell you, some of those models, I pulled them out to photograph them for this layout. The past that's going on now. Just within the past few weeks, I photographed the tires had like broke away. You know, they just hardened. They're 20, 25 years old, you know, airplane models. Or you pull the gear out from the under the wings or in the nose, and the mechanism just kind of fell apart. But I've been really, really careful. So if you take care of your models, you keep them nice, you don't touch them with your bare hands, you use that piece of plastic that comes in the model to hold them, or use gloves, you know, you'll keep your model nice. Everyone always says, what's this piece of plastic for? Well, one reason is to keep, so you can hold your model and not touch it with your bare fingers. The other is so it fits a little more snug in the clamshell. But keep your models nice, and you know, I've done that, but even time can still take its toll on our precious airplane models. So, yes, over here, you've been holding your hand up.
Well, long time collector, but a tote bug.
Yeah.
So my question is, who are you and how'd you get actually, what's your job title?
I'm the director of customer service and marketing for GeminiJets, but it's a glorified title for really an operations manager. So, yeah. So I'm even picking up trash that's on the floor sometimes, and I feed 18 cats that live outside the building. So
Where's your U.S. office, just out of curiosity?
it's in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's an airplane shop store in our offices.
MTS or whatever it is, or the DTS or whatever it is?
A what?
MTS or
MTS?
DTS?
No, MTS Aviation Models is in Ohio.
Oh.
And it's his own business. His name is Isaiah Jones. He runs that. Yeah. He sells GeminiJets and other brands. Nice guy. Sorry he's not here. I wish he was here, but I think he's getting ready to go to Oshkosh. Yeah, and sell models. almost there. Anybody up here? Y'all awfully quiet, and I love. Look at this ensemble. I want to show her off real quick because where is this uniform from? What time period?
United Airlines, 1968 to 1970.
Okay, so this was right before or at the very beginning of the Fly the Friendly Skies campaign, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And it was designed by Jean-Louis, a French designer, who was once married to Loretta Young. And if you know that name, she was very known for her fashions and all as well. So anyway.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming in today. What's your name?
Deborah Brown.
Deborah Brown, been a pleasure. Are you a former United flight attendant? You're not, okay.
I just collect uniforms.
Okay, well, I love this. Very, very nice. Yeah, thank you. Questions? Back to, yes, sir.
Quick question, what kind of material do you recommend the gloves should be made out of?
Oh, I just use those vinyl gloves, like surgical gloves.
Yeah.
Or you can get, but they're kind of slippery, microfiber gloves. But again, the model can kind of slip out of your hands if you're not careful with those things. So that's why I use the vinyl. It's like the surgical kind of gloves. I don't get the stuff that has that coating on it because I don't want that coating on my models. You know, that powdery stuff? Yeah, I don't want that on there. So I just get it. You can get them at Walmart for like maybe $6, $7 for a box of 50 of them. Yeah.
Are there any models like the South 2000 or like the anything like that you're trying to like expand on? Use more of like South 40 and stuff.
You have an example for me?
Like just like the model, like the mold in general. Like, are you trying to expand on like different types? Like I haven't seen a Convair 5, whatever.
If you were to say 580, I'm talking about. Well, I don't know. So in some cases, I don't know how many more we can make of something because, you know, we have folks that come in all the time in our office. I'm looking for a Delta L1011. Well, you and about 8,000 other people, because they're beautiful and they're awesome and it's a classic subject. But we did all those already. And to go back, and we did, I know, 2 Delta L1011s. To do those again, it would be like, what? You know, because we try to keep our product collectible. And so if you keep releasing the same thing over and over and over and over, Southwest NG models, people get sick of it. They don't, you've done it. We don't want to see it again. Or in our case, Emirates A3. So we try to change it up. As for older subjects, you know, there's some of these 727-100s that we never did, like a Delta widget. I'm like, wait, what? And we're 28 years old and we never did that. No, we didn't. So it's a surprise to me. So we did one. Anybody know what the Delta 200 scale, Delta 727-100 is that we did years ago? There's something about it that sets it apart. It's different.
Bicentennial?
Yes,
Yeah.
Because it has the bicentennial widget on it. It's got little stars in the triangle.
Right.
So technically, we never made a standard livery Delta 727-100. So one is coming up if you collect 200 scale, yeah, with a polished belly.
They got the airplanes from Northeast Airlines, and they
Yeah.
didn't keep them very long, so there weren't many, and they were
Yeah,
retired.
yeah. And they were painted what color when Delta got them?
Yellow.
Yellow birds, yes. Okay, someone over here, right here.
Is there a set unit production number on new releases?
It varies, yeah, based on what we think the market demands. Yeah, it changes, and I can't get into that, but yeah. Yes?
Have you ever thought of doing like a set of like a livery, the different liveries for a particular, you know, model, history of an airline or whatever in one set? Have you ever
Well,
thought
we
about
have
doing
done some sets.
Oh, really? Okay.
Who's a really big time collector? I mean, would you say, yeah, I collect? Okay. Any of you have these? We did like a tri-pack of Delta 727s, the British Airways 727s. So there were 3, like in the Delta, all 3 liveries that the 727-200 wore, like the main livery, no special livery, all three of them were represented in one box. So you got 3 models. We did a set that was like based on St. Martin. And did anyone have that as a Continental 757 in it? It sat around the warehouse for years. Now you can't find those things anywhere. But there were 3 models in the. What are the other 2? You remember, Cole?
I think it was a BWI 737 800 and the Air Transit
Okay.
200,
Okay. That sounds right. Yeah. But so we have done some sets, but they're costly. The production for the packaging alone, there's a bigger cost there. And then, that's 3 models as opposed to 1. So we have to figure how many are we going to sell when we go to plan something like that. That's why we haven't done any of that in a while. We did a set of Alaska 737s years ago. Had a 737 800 and a 900. Somebody probably knows what I'm talking about. There were 2 or 3 in the box. So we have done them, but they're costly, and then are the consumers are they willing to pay that much? Yeah.
So how do you guys keep the molds?
The molds are used until, unfortunately, they're stolen, which can happen in China. Thank you. Or they break and they have to be replaced. Someone asked me today, what's it like about the mold? I mean, this brand that's coming out, they're using, I'm like, yeah, you're right. They're using the molds that are ours. And there's a lot of controversy about that. Were they stolen? Were they rightfully theirs? Did the government in China order the factory shut down and they took them? So we don't know. So it's a big mystery. And when you're dealing with a communist government in China, where we have very little access in some cases, and our answers are sometimes hard to come by, it's a mystery. Yeah. Yes.
I'm curious about the 767-400.
Me too. It took forever, didn't it?
So I got one today, so I finally got my wish.
You get the Delta one. It's the only one that's been out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what was the final push to put it out? I know it came out on the 400 scale for a while, and then now the 200.
Yeah.
Scale. What was the final push?
I think just demand. We were looking for something, okay, what's new that we haven't done? And for so long, we told collectors, even folks in this room probably heard it out of my mouth too, oh, there aren't that many 764s flying, not many airlines flying, we won't get to use the mold that much. And we finally just relented, and the factory that we work with, they wanted to do it too. So those dogs actually threw down a Continental 764 first. And so I was a little miffed personally, but I still got it because I liked it as a collector. But that was really it. It was really the demand, number one, and number two, that we wanted to expand, and we thought that would be a good way to do it.
Is it safe to assume that there will be more liveries in?
Absolutely. I just talked about the cost of the mold. Yeah. We're going to use that 200 scale Boeing 767-400 mold as much as we possibly freaking can. So that's why. So you'll see a lot of the breast cancer, all those things we did in 400 scale. They're all going to be out in 200 scale as well. The next one up is a United 767-400 in the current paint scheme. So that one's going to be hot. That'll be out in a few weeks. Yes.
While we're on the 400, what was, I don't know if you could, but the Vince Dooley over the normal Delta library. Is that special?
Marketing, you just know that you're going to eventually do it. So let's do it first. And I know it ticked off some people, like they've been waiting forever. But you know what? There's an actual airplane that looks like that, a Delta 764. We did it in 400 scale. So you got something to look forward to. The one without the Vince Dooley.
I bought all three of them.
Okay.
400 and 200.
Okay, good, yeah. Because they really do look nice.
Where's your table?
My table?
Your area? Do you have an area in here separate, or are you just?
Well, there's a table, yeah, in the Crystal Ballroom. It's 24. Yeah, yeah. So you'll see our 400 scale deluxe airport setup over there, and some models around it. And then I brought these along, and people are like, what are these doing here? Well, I thought, just out of interest, there are folks who probably get a kick out of seeing these old boxes. Anyone see our table over there? And like, so that's how they come from the factory. Not to us, except the ones that they send us as extras to replace ones that may have been damaged in transit or they get torn or whatever. So we get some extras. So I brought some of those along today. Those are from classic GeminiJets releases from the early 2000s, if not even the late 90s. And if you haven't seen them yet, just go take a look. There's probably a dozen of them over there of different airlines, different aircraft types, all in 400 scale. Yes.
What is the reason behind Gemini sharing molds with JCB?
Manufacturing, it's a little easier. They're already there in Asia, and so they have a relationship. Plus the cost, So you got two brands using the mold versus just one, and so they help pay for the mold, So it's like a 50-50. It's a partnership, and so if you were going into business, you didn't have all the capital you wanted, you couldn't secure a loan easily, and this is just hypothetical, okay? So you went, you got this guy next to you, you met him, you liked him, he's got money to throw into it, he likes what you're doing, he might be a part of the business where you haven't even thought of, okay, what talents do I have, or where am I lacking? And this dude here, what's your name, dude? George, dude, has all these talents that maybe you don't. He's smart with business or figures, math, and you're good with marketing and promotion, so you pair together. It's the same sort of thing. And lo and behold, George dude has capital, and that helps you out, and maybe you either get a loan because you have a partner, a better loan, a bigger loan, or you get a loan, period, or you won't need one because he's coming in, now you have enough, you pull your money. So it's the same sort of arrangement with the factory and the molds. Okay. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, I don't handle that part of the business, and I can't think of any offhand. Over here, yeah.
Are you going to do anything else with the A300 mold?
The A3 what?
The A300 mold.
A300?
Yeah, because I remember when you did the Emirates A300.
Yeah.
Are you going to do any more A300s?
Yeah. It's one of those aircraft types that maybe we didn't do a lot with, but the competitors did. I know I got at home an Aero Classics 400 scale A300 American, or 2 or 3 of them even. So, okay, they've already been done. How many people still want an A300 that already still flying? How many are still flying? So we have to weigh all that in. Plus, how many other models do we have on the production list right now that people do want, and they want them now, where that's just going to take up a slot? So I don't know if there are any more on there, but I could check, and I'll never get back to you. All right, yes, George, dude. By the way, you've been so cool. Let me use your name, make fun of you here. Have a key.
So you mentioned not re-releasing the same model a bunch of times. But my question was, for airlines like AirTran, your last release was in 2017, before Ariel's really common in 400 scale. Would you go back and re-release some of those models again with the Ariels?
I would push hard for an AirTran 717 again.
I promise you, I would buy 10 of them today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like to hear. So I will go back and I will make sure that I will have this conversation again, because on a selfish note, I want the 200 scale version, because I gave the one I had to someone who was begging and pleading. So.
I got mine for $200 a year ago, because I just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I gotta get it. 200 scale, it's available. Just buy it.
What scale is the one you bought for $200 bucks?
It was like $200 to $300 for the 200 scale.
Okay.
But I would like 400.
You got it a steal. Yeah, because they're more expensive now. Yes.
Question for you. Did you guys ever make a Spirit A320 in 1-400?
Yeah. We did. Yes.
I'd love to see somebody get a deal of about maybe 3 dozen of them, and with the diorama, somebody do.
A suggestion.
Picking the registration number, is that a certain thing, or is that
That's a real easy answer. The aircraft that has the most images and film that we can see from all angles and sides, top, bottom, whatever of an aircraft that's available to us. Yeah, that's how we choose. Yeah.
So for like, I'm always impressed by the accuracy of the models, but like, do you guys get templates of like deliveries from the airline, or
Yeah.
do you have artists that actually
Yeah,
design?
if we can't, we have an artist that
Okay.
does it, and it goes back and forth. And I'm telling you, Elliot is like a genius with airplanes. I mean, this guy was born like an airplane. I mean, he just knows these, and cars. He just knows all the nuances and everything. So he will sit down. It will go back and forth with the artist and Elliot, and they'll correct things all the time.
Okay.
So you can thank him,
Yeah.
the guy behind GeminiJets, and I'm fortunate that he allows me to come out and tell his story and talk about the planes, because he's really that good. He really, really is. Yeah, it's a passion. You forgot what you were gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna open it up to people who have a suggestion, and then we're gonna close it out here. Yes, ma'am. Of Lufthansa?
Yeah.
Yes. So we've done that in 200. Now it's out in 400.
Oh, it's out.
Yes. Yeah. So that's out. Thank you. And that it's a good seller. Yes. Suggestion for a new model we haven't done.
In like the 400 scale,
Yeah.
the United A319 or A320.
Okay. I know. Been a while, hasn't it? Yes.
In 1-400 scale, Edelweiss A340-300.
Yeah, we kind of skipped over that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Phoenix models. Okay. Yeah. All right. Just.
Did you what's it called? Did you guys release an A321neo for United's 100 year, or
Yeah.
is it just the 787?
For United?
Yeah.
It's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out.
Yeah. I think, is that coming out, or is the Coastliner? The Coastliner will be out in the next week or two.
Okay.
Yeah. So that one, they did a switch on us. That was supposed to be first.
Okay.
No, the 787 was supposed to be first. So we produced it. We got the factory to rush it. We got them all here. And then, well, we're putting out an A321 with 100 years on it. So that was the first. But I thank you all for buying the 787 with the 100 years on it. It is flying,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the first one like it was supposed to be. Yes.
Are you guys can you guys make the A220 blueprint too?
Oh yeah. The first one was awesome. Did you get that one?
No.
You didn't? And you don't want to pay $1,000 on eBay for it? Why not? Makes no sense.
We were gonna buy one, but it's with shipping.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, you've been in this hobby enough to know, A, you got to shop around, best prices and everything. But B, when a model's announced and you want it, work like a madman to get as much money as you can to get the model. If or order it, pre-order it, whatever.